Is the Blade 150 FX the best RC beginner helicopter in the world? I'll be the judge of that. Welcome back to the Camps channel, guys. I am Mr. Camps, and today we're talking about RC helis on the channel. If you're someone who's brand new into the RC hobby, or if you're thinking about flying an RC heli for the first time, this one is super relaxing to fly. It's quiet and it has a pretty decent flight time, and it comes with everything included in the box. And trust me, you guys are super lucky in 2022 as compared to where we were even 20 years ago in the RC hobby. Let's take a look at what's in the box, and then we'll take this little guy outside and we'll do a flight test, and I'll give you my final opinion. The Blade 150 FX comes in at around $179 for everything ready to fly. You get a detailed instruction manual with the flight modes, and you get the Blade 150 FX helicopter itself, which looks super cool. It is fixed pitch. We also have a 2S battery inside here, and this is a 320 milliamp battery, getting us about a 10-minute flight time per battery. Blade 2-cell USB charger, an extra pair of main blades, a 6-channel proportional radio that is running on 2.4 gigahertz, and it has only 2 switches on here, high and low rates, arm and disarm switch. It has a throttle hold switch as well, so you can switch it to the red, and that will take all the throttle out of the throttle stick. You also get 2 extra screwdrivers in here, some 3M sticky tape, and an Allen wrench, as well as some extra washers. I've got the battery all charged up, so let's go ahead and take the 150 FX outside and do some flying. Okay, everything seems to be working here, so let's go ahead and spool up. Now we're in the green, and you see an automatic spool up. It's just going to give you a low throttle. When you're ready to go ahead and push a little harder on the left-hand stick, and we're going to come up into a hover. And give it a second to stabilize. And if you're brand new to heli flying, the best advice I can give you is to keep the tail toward you when you're first flying. Super quiet little heli. Very stable. You can fly this indoors or outdoors. And if you let go of the sticks, what's cool is it's going to auto stabilize. When you get close to the ground, you're going to have something called ground effect as well. So now I'm switched into the higher rate. Now I can go a little faster, and I can really get into some quick forward flight here. So you can also kind of see what I'm doing on the sticks. This is a pretty small spot to fly in as well. I suggest always like going out to a big open field with no trees, things to hit, but this is a flybarless heli, so you really won't have a lot of damage. And there's no links in the head, so there's no links to pop off. It's a direct drive system. Got sucked in a little vortex right there. A lot of smoke in the air today as well in Oregon. But it's pretty fast in that first kind of rate mode. And we can go up a little higher here. And the range is pretty good. You should get about, I would say about 900 feet out before it fail safes. And if you get out of range, it's just gonna basically cut the motor and come down to the ground. Probably crash. So you wanna be extra careful there, but I love the way this heli looks. I love how quiet it is. And the red really helps. The other eSky version of this one, it's black and white, and this one's much easier to see. It's essentially the same heli with the Blade graphics on here. The same components, the same motor on the main gear for the main blades and the tail blade. Same components. Let's go to a hands-off hover there. Pretty good. Little ground effect. Now let's come back over here and test the throttle kill switch over top of the landing pad. So we're just going to come down slowly, and let's press the throttle hold switch. It's on the right hand side of the transmitter. So let's come down, and there you go. A little quick, fast auto rotation back down to our pad. So let's go ahead and let's try another takeoff here. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and switch into green again, and it has an automatic spool up. When you come to about half stick, the heli will come off your landing pad, your launch pad. And there's a hands-off hover right there. Let's get a little more altitude. This doesn't have altitude hold, by the way. That tail seems to be holding pretty well. There's no wind today, and you know, it's the perfect day to fly these little helis when there's no wind. As far as the trainer helis go. And it's still finding some vortexes up there to get sucked down into. Vortex is just dirty air, and the heli will fall down through its prop wash. It especially happens a lot. There's a lot of ground effect near the ground. You can kind of come in and get sucked into that grass. If the grass is super hot, you got this downdraft in the grass. Right there, getting a little close. You won't have that ground effect quite as much indoors if your house is not super hot inside. But hot grass will suck you down. Let's try out the tail rotor there and see how fast it pirouettes. Pretty cool. And it's so smooth. It's so precise. Oh, we just hit the collard greens over there. That was awesome. So I'm still on the first battery. We're taking our kind of second launch and flight. So let's come in here and try a little quick landing. And let's do it this time without using the throttle hold switch. We're just gonna do a manual landing, decreasing the throttle and all the way down. Let's see if it turns totally off. So no, it goes into that low idle, so that's good to know. That low idle is so cool though. And if you wanted to kill that, you just hit this right switch there to red and it'll kill the motor. And if you get in trouble, you know, my best advice to you guys as new beginner pilots is hit that throttle switch, the throttle kill switch on the right. Keep your index finger on that switch. If you go, like you're gonna hit a tree or something solid, say the wheelbarrow over there, you wanna definitely hit that switch before you go in. It's gonna take all the power out of the motor. There's gonna be less damage. It's just like rule number one of heli flying. So we get pretty far out there. I can really see this from a long ways away. Uh-oh. Almost went into the trees. But still going. So you gotta kind of anticipate your turns with this heli. Line of sight flying is a lot of fun, but you really gotta anticipate where it's gonna go next, right? So I'm getting pretty lucky with this heli so far, but I have crashed the E-Sky version quite a bit, and I've not got a lot of damage. So that's in the low rate. So I can't turn quite as quick in the low rate, so I'm gonna go into the high rate now, and that's gonna save me. So if you have a small backyard like this and you're a fairly competent RC heli pilot, I would put it in the high rate. That way you can turn and avoid those trees. But line of sight flying is challenging because the depth of, you know, your depth perception really throws you off between like how much space you have between, like say the garden over there or these trees here, like between yourself, the pilot view, and the heli. And again, we don't have any kind of throttle idle up on this heli. It's not a 3D heli. It's just a pure beginner, no stress RC helicopter. It's super easy to fly. And the pirouette rate is a little faster now. But it just looks so cool without like a full-size landing gear on there. It looks really sleek. I love that. That's a nice, little nice kind of looks and aesthetic to this. It is basically the Airwolf body. If you've ever seen that TV show Airwolf, this is a red version of the Airwolf. Much easier to see than the black and white one. The black kind of disappears, so if you're brand new, I would suggest getting this version. The 150FX, super easy to see. It almost reminds me of like Starsky and Hutch type colors. I'm kind of aging myself when I say that, Starsky and Hutch. They were undercover policemen with a red and white car. I think it was back in the early 80s maybe? Or was it 70s? I don't remember. 150FX, still going, like, nice flyer. So what do you guys think about this one so far? Put some comments down below, like this video if you enjoy my videos. If you want to become a Patreon, that would be super great. We only have about $200 worth of Patreons per month, so I would really like to, if I could get that up to like $1,000 a month, that would be amazing. Uh-oh. So I'm gonna hit throttle kill in the collards. Okay, got a little bit of garden debris on there, some dirt on the blades. Let's check out the head. All right, you could, at this point, you could restart everything, but we're just gonna go ahead and take off again and see if it still flies. And the head speed is so low on this that you really don't have a lot of problem with damage. It's also so light that you have less damage on your crashes. And I probably hit the safest thing to hit back here, which is a collard green versus something like that pear tree over there. If you hit branches, you're probably gonna maybe hurt the head of the heli. But if you're flying this indoors too, like, you wouldn't want to fly this around your wife or kids. Like, this will really hurt somebody if it hits them. It has enough head speed to hurt you. I don't know if it would cut you, but I wouldn't want to find out. So now our battery's dying, it's going in, and I'm going to hit throttle kill right here. And we are done with that battery, guys. So I really need to get another battery and have 2 batteries going on this at once, because I would really like to fly it again right now. So some final kind of field comments for you is that for the price, you know, there are cheaper ones out there, but the coolest thing about, I guess, the Blade brand for me is the fact that you can call Horizon Hobby on the phone. Some people love to be able to get someone on the phone and have customer support. These guys will get on the phone with you. If you have problems with it, they'll give you tech support, and they're a US based company. And if you need a replacement for any type of, I'd say, like, it wasn't working from the factory out of the box, something was desperately wrong with it, I believe they would work with you and replace it. So I was also a Horizon Hobby dealer for a long time, so I know that company really well, and I trust those guys because, yeah, they are also friends of mine, and they make sure that whatever they release is going to be good for you. And especially during the pandemic and the recession right now, we're all looking for something a little cheaper to fly, but we'd also like to make sure that when we spend our money on something, that it's going to be something that's going to be worth our money, worth our dollar spent, because every dollar counts right now. So I wouldn't want you guys to buy the wrong thing. Long press on this transmitter, and that will turn off the transmitter. And that was a lot of fun. You can see the heat sink coming off of the motor here. So they also have an interior heat sink all the way around the motor here. And that is a brushed motor on the main motor and the back one back here. So it's not a hot rod, but it's one of the best single rotor, like, fly barless helis that I've flown. My original review of this heli from eSky, it has loads of views, and it was really a hot seller. I think they sold out the first couple batches on this. So it was smart of Blade to get with eSky, one of the most longest running RC heli companies out there on the planet, and release their own version of this to you with some US based domestic support. I think that's cool. And this one's just easier to see too. But you can check out my links in the video description to grab one of these. And if you enjoy the reviews and you enjoy the flight tests and all the testing and research we do on the channel, it's all for science and for you guys to know what's good and what's not good. And if I was giving this one a star rating, I have to say about 4.5 out of 5. I love the design, the aesthetic. I love seeing this one fly, and I could teach my son how to fly RC helis with this one. And for beginners, it's perfect for you guys. And everything in one box. That's what we want nowadays. Everything in one box with the transmitter, a battery, a charger for under 200 bucks. Not bad. Guys, I'm Mr. Camps, and I appreciate you hanging out on the channel with me. I will see you on the next one. Please take care and keep them flying. See you on the next one.